Secretary, call the roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Glazer, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Wesso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyba, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
Secretary notices an absence of a quorum. Members, please come to the Senate floor. Members, a quorum is present. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We'll be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Sister Michelle Gorman, after which please remain standing. We'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Senator Bell.
Let us recall that we are in God's holy presence. And on this Easter Monday, 2016, let us give thanks to our God in the words of E. E. Cummings. I thank you, God, for this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. I, who have died, am alive again today, And this is the sun's birthday. This is the birthday of life, and of love and wings, and of the gay great happening, illimitably earth. How should tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, any human merely being, doubt unimaginable you? Now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are opened. Amen.
All right, members, under privileges of the floor, Senator Jackson, I believe you wanted to make an introduction.
Colleagues, I'd like to draw your attention to the back of the chamber and ask you to join me in giving a warm welcome to Kamala Lopez. She is an actress, director, and most importantly, an activist. With her film, Equal Means Equal, and we mean it, she has reignited the conversation about passing the Equal Rights Amendment. She was active in helping me pass last year's Fair Pay Act, and she and Patricia Arquette have collaborated on a number of things, including her latest documentary. In Equal Means Equal, Kamala shares insights into what we can do to bring awareness and actions to the inequities that women continue to face on a daily basis. With only 4 days left on Women's History Month, let's bring attention to a woman who is making history right before our very eyes. I would ask you to join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Great. Welcome, Kamala Lopez. Senator Mitchell, for what purpose do you rise?
I was going to try to photobomb, but I'll stand here and take care of my business. Thank you very much, Mr. President, and good afternoon, colleagues. It's great to see everyone back. I wanted to just take a quick minute in the spirit of girl power and recognize up in the gallery Girl Scout Troop 607. Sherry Curtis, Karen Reed, Nancy McLaughlin, and Mary Reed, and their Girl Scout troop members who didn't wear their uniform today, but trust me, they are friends of the family and our Girl Scouts, and they're actually from Central Valley. So please welcome Girl Scout Troop 607.
Welcome. Okay, I believe Senators Pavley and Jackson had a resolution to present. Senator Pavley?
Yes, members, if I could have your attention. I have a special visitor on the floor that I'd like you to acknowledge.
Members, if we could please show respect to Senator Pavley. Please, Senator Pavley.
Yes, thank you very much. 15 years ago this June, back in 2001, some visionaries in Ventura County had been working for decades on putting in a new 4-year public state college achieve their dream. And along with that, Along with picking a site in Ventura County and Camarillo, they wisely chose an amazing leader. I have with me today President Richard Rush from Cal State Channel Islands. He was chosen in June of 2001 to lead the way, sort of the George Washington of Cal State Channel Island fame. This was the first public four-year university in Ventura County, providing access to a four-year institution that many people didn't have before. Unless you can live up in Santa Barbara and LA County, you couldn't really access a four-year university. He has done an amazing job, and he's here today because Senator Jackson and I wanted to present him a resolution and let you know what a great job he has done. He has been a visionary. He believes strongly in a multicultural university, strongly in interaction between the different disciplines and the different departments. He believes strongly in having students have access to going to foreign countries to visit. He is really active in the community. He has relationships with the high schools, particularly in disadvantaged communities. Today, Cal State Channel Islands, starting from 15 years ago with nothing, took over an old state development center that is a marvelous Spanish architecture, has revitalized it, has built labs, has built dorms, has built things to attract people. Today, 6,000 students are now coming to Cal State Channel Islands, having a choice of a diversity of majors. And I wanted to share with you just one story. Last Friday, I spent the day with President Rush. We went with the National Park Service out to Santa Rosa Island. That's part of the Channel Islands right off the coast. There is a Cal State University Channel Islands station there, a research station, filled with young students as undergraduates working on marine science, but typical of President Rush, these aren't all environmental science majors, they're psychology majors and other majors using their interdisciplinary opportunities they have, particularly at Cal State Channel Islands, to look in different directions. It was an amazing experience, and it shows you how much this university has grown. And I want to share with you, it wouldn't have been true without the leadership of President Richard Rush. So he's on the floor today, and Senator Jackson will say a few words yourself. But take the opportunity to meet this individual because he's retiring after his 15 years of service. Couldn't have done it without him.
Right.
And I want to join in. Cal State Channel Islands used to be known to many of us old folks as Camarillo State Hospital. And what President Rush did in taking this former state hospital, which had quite an interesting history, and turning it into an absolutely extraordinarily not only beautiful, but opportunity-driven institution that is, because of his effort, now a federal Hispanic serving institution, having obtained that status. Really quite extraordinary to start literally with virtually nothing. It was, if I'm not mistaken, the first university to break ground in the 21st century, the first four-year university. And what this visionary did with this university is nothing short of exceptional. In fact, he had both the joy and the burden of identifying and bringing to his staff some 800+ tenured track and senior administration individuals. He was responsible for creating this school literally from the ground up. And what an extraordinary, extraordinary job he has done. He basically told some of the people who were tenured folks at some of our other esteemed universities, if you're frustrated because there's a bureaucracy in the way of your doing what you would envision your university to do, come to Channel Islands because we have no bureaucracy. In fact, we have no idea what we're doing, so we want you here. We want you here to help us to create a university that clearly is at the cutting edge of the 21st century. And I would invite any of you and all of you to come to Cal State Channel Islands to see this magnificent university, to see this incredible federal Hispanic serving institution. I was at their graduation a couple years ago, and President Rush asked all the students who were the first in their families to graduate college. 60% of these graduating students stood up. It was really a moving moment that would not have happened without his leadership. I want to read you just a couple comments that have been made about him. This one, of all the superheroes I have known in my life, says this person, you are at the top of the list. The mountains you have moved and the legacy that you leave will be remembered for generations to come, and I have enjoyed each moment I have had being affiliated with you, your university, and everything you have done. Harold Edwards, the president and CEO of Limoneira Company, which is one of the largest citrus companies in the world. This man has done incredible things, and even staff has said, you have created an environment where employees can thrive. You've encouraged us to take risks, to be bold and innovative. Not many individuals can say they were part of a startup university. Was a retired Cal State Channel Islands staff member. Dr. Rush, you have done extraordinary work under extraordinarily challenging circumstances. This university is a legacy that I think will be a reflection of your brilliance, your vision, your commitment, and you will be sorely missed as you are beloved to all of us who have had the opportunity and experience to work with you and the university you've helped create. Thank you, and Godspeed.
Thank you, President Rush, and all the work you've done for CSU Channel Islands. All right, members, we're now going to move to the Senate Pro Tem and Senator Lara for an introduction. Pro Tem De Leon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Members, last fall, I had the amazing opportunity to visit the beautiful nation of Australia, along with Senators Benjamin Allen, Anthony Canella, and Ricardo Lara. And during our mission, we had critical discussions regarding shared issues of drought management, environmental conservation, as well as energy sustainability. Given New South Wales and California's mutual prowess and innovation in environmental protection and green energy development, the opportunity to exchange best practices was an invaluable experience. Today, colleagues, the flag of the beautiful nation of Australia is flying on the dais to welcome one of the great Australian leaders who received us during our trip. It is with great pleasure that I introduce the Honorable Don Harwin, who is the President of the Legislative Council of New South Wales. Now, New South Wales is a state in Australia, like California. And Don Harwin, the Honorable Don Harwin, as President of the Legislative Council, is the equivalent to the red carpet south of us as the President of the Senate. A member of the Liberal Party, President Harwin was appointed to his current position in 2011 after both the Liberals and the Nationals formed a coalition government. During his tenure, he has drastically improved Sydney's inner city by supporting light rail projects, promoting the Central Business District, and expanding roads. President Harwin is also very passionate about supporting the LGBTQ communities and marriage equality. As many of you know, California and New South Wales have a shared sister state relationship since 1997, which I didn't know until I arrived in Sydney. Now, we've had multiple reciprocal exchanges between the two regions since then. The most recent in 2012 by the Republican leader, Senator Gene Fuller, who led a delegation at that time, or Senator Bob Huff, the Republican leader at the time, who led a delegation along with Senator Bob Huff, Ms. Gene Fuller, and our former colleagues who are now in Washington, D.C., Congress members Mark DeSagne and Juan Vargas. While in Australia, President Harwin also graciously welcomed them to New South Wales Parliament. And to commemorate President Harwin's visit and to thank him very much for repeatedly extending his hand in friendship to California, but especially to the red carpet, to the California State Senate, I'd like to present him with this resolution honoring his exemplary service and leadership. It was a true joy to be in Sydney, New South Wales, with the Honorable Don Harwin. He graciously put a luncheon together for the whole California delegation. A beautiful lunch, excellent food, better companionship and friendship. And we talked about the issues that co-benefit state of California and New South Wales. As you all know, Australia as a whole has endured 12 years of a historic record drought. And they made some very tough political decisions, both on the right, the left, and the middle. But it was a compromise that they forged together to make sure that they have water for Australians. It takes political courage, because oftentimes when we have so much water, we don't make these decisions because we have the water. But we're in the new time and era. Colleagues, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to our honored guest, the Honorable Don Harwin, and wishing him a most successful visit.
Well, Mr. President, Senators, I'm deeply honoured to be addressing you today. In the 5 years that I've served as President of Australia's first legislative chamber, which is 191 years old this year, I've been delighted, as your President said, to welcome 2 delegations of Californian senators. So it was high time for me to come here and say g'day. Hopefully you will have returned here impressed by the opportunities presented by the partnership between our 2 states, which will be 20 years old next year, as well as being impressed with our famously beautiful state capital city, Sydney. Like California, New South Wales may not be the geographically largest state in our country, but it overshadows all others in terms of population and economy. In fact, our gross state product exceeds the GDP of many of the Asian economies in our region, including Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore. And we've had 24 years of uninterrupted economic growth. Our New South Wales state government leads with innovative partnerships involving public and private sector provision of infrastructure, with a $68 billion pipeline of approved projects, including heavy and light rail lines, roads, as well as a new airport. And we welcome American investment in all of them. We support the relationship between our states here through a New South Wales Trade and Investment Office in San Francisco. We aim to emulate your accelerating use of renewable energy while you tap into our experience in sustainable water management. It's well known, of course, that your state is the birthplace of the personal computer and the internet. However, you might not be aware that Australians are the world's leading early adopters of new technology. For example, after the USA, we have a faster take-up of cloud computing services than anywhere else in the world. And Californian digital infrastructure companies are beginning to understand the tremendous opportunities they have in Sydney, the ICT powerhouse of our region. Equally, our tech-friendly culture has led to a range of New South Wales-based startups that we're keen to connect with your venture capitalists and private equity investors. But while our economic ties are significant, our relationship has so much more texture. We share an approach to lifestyle based on the similarity of our climates, interests, and people, the creative industries in our state, States inspire our nations and a much broader audience. We're proud and diverse societies, and our nation have a shared commitment to freedom and democracy, which have made us such firm allies, standing together in every conflict, from the Western Front in France almost 100 years ago to the fight against ISIS today. It's a friendship upon which much has been built and even more can be in the future. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today, and as we approach the 20th anniversary of our partnership between states in 2017, let's work harder at finding ways on how we can work together for the benefit of all of the people of California and of New South Wales. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Senator Laura.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under privileges of the floor for the purpose of introduction, I also just want to take a second to introduce a family from Southgate, California that today is visiting the state capitol, and I'd like to take a second to welcome my good friends Juan de la Cruz, Iris Zuniga, and their children Luis, Juan, and Aria, who are here up in the gallery. Please, Senators, welcome a hardworking family from Southgate, California. Thank you.
Great. Welcome. Senator Monning, for what purpose do you rise?
Thank you, Mr. President. Under privileges of the floor, purposes of introduction.
Please.
Also joining us from Australia, the new recently placed Consul General and Senior Trade Commissioner, Chris Oldfield, joins us from Tasmania and now posted in San Francisco. So let's please give the Tasmanian devil a warm welcome.
All right. Welcome. All right, members. We'll now move to Senators Morell and Senator Leyva to present a resolution. Senator Morell.
Thank you,
Senator
Mr.
Leyva.
President. Members, on December 2nd, 2015, our Inland Empire community was struck by the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil since September 11th. We lost 14 that day. They were fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, and beloved friends and co-workers. 22 more were seriously injured. Others continue to struggle with emotional problems from this experience. This terrible event reminded us all that evil does still exist in the world and that terrorism must be stopped. Today, we're here to recognize individuals who answered the call. We have with us representatives of the more than 300 first responders who put their lives at risk to secure our community and save the lives in the aftermath of the attack in the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California. These emergency personnel, medics, and public safety officials did a remarkable job under great pressure in responding to the events of that day. And because of their actions, it is likely they've saved many more lives were saved, and so we're indebted to their service. The quickness and professionalism they demonstrated work together to overcome this tragedy is an example of the strength that did not go unnoticed, showing the world what it means to be San Bernardino strong. As John Winthrop, the leader of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, once said, "For this end, we must be knit together in this work as one." Entertaining each other in brotherly affection, willing to abridge ourselves for the supply of others' necessities, and this became more true more than anything, making others' conditions our own, which we saw happen in San Bernardino. Our community mourned together, rejoiced together, labored and suffered together, but always having before our eyes the commission and the community in this work as members of the same body. And so with that, we say thank you, and we're proud of our public servants for placing the well-being of others before themselves. Therefore, on behalf of the Inland Empire Caucus, it is our great privilege to honor these individuals today. And I'd like to turn over to Senator Leyva, who I share the city of San Bernardino with, and now will say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Morrell. Good afternoon, members. I rise today to remember the many lives we lost on that horrible day almost 4 months ago in San Bernardino. But I also rise on a happier note today as we pay tribute and honor the many first responders who put themselves in harm's way to protect people that they hadn't even met until that fateful day. Right after the shots rang out at the employee training and holiday party, and as innocent people were themselves trying to get away from the chaos, first responders from every corner of the region rushed to the scene to offer whatever aid that they could. Having been in San Bernardino, just down the road from the Inland Regional Center as the attacks happened, I vividly remember the fear and the confusion that day and the days that followed. The one constant through all of this was the bravery and amazing organization of the hundreds upon hundreds of first responders that kept calm, tended to the injured, and reassured all of us that we were safe in their hands. And I would just say that this starts at the top, and do a special shout out to Sheriff McMahon and Chief Jared Burguan, because the day after, on December 3rd, when we met to receive a briefing, I've never been through something like this, and to walk in, and these two men were so calm, and they were just doing their job. So that was reassuring to me, and every time that they spoke on TV, they reassured a very fearful public that everything was going to be okay. I will also never forget watching a video of San Bernardino County Sheriff's Detective George Lozano. Many of you probably saw this as well, as he helped to lead clearly frightened people down a hallway to safety that day, where he told them, "I will take a bullet before you do, that's for damn sure." Now just think about that for a minute. Here's the law enforcement officer himself on the front lines of protecting our community right after this shooting, reassuring people that day that he would take a bullet for them. Though I later heard that Detective Lozano said he didn't think he was a hero. I beg to differ, and I think all of you would beg to differ as well. On that day, officers were indeed injured in the line of duty, though luckily none of those injuries caused death. Detective Lozano and all of the first responders that day and the days that followed are absolutely our heroes. A hashtag developed right after the shooting, #SBStrong. San Bernardino and all of California remains strong, in large part and thanks to the continued courage and heroism of these first responders. So as the senator representing many cities in San Bernardino County, as well as a portion of the city of San Bernardino with Senator Morrell, I and we say thank you. Thank you for committing your lives to protecting others and for keeping us safe, even during one of the most significant terrorist attacks in California history. We will all forever remember the 14 victims that died. We will also forever remember and remain thankful for our first responders, for your heroism on that day that none of us will ever forget. Thank you very much. Now, yes, give them a round of applause. Now, it is our pleasure to recognize, starting with law enforcement, from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff John McMahon and Deputy Sheriff Sean Wallen. Gentlemen.